Please understand this. The two greatest crops in the world are not rice and wheat. They are hunger and thirst. And more revenue is made out of that than any other crop in history. Today, the greatest crop in Marathwada is thirst. We are not looking only at a drought. You are in the midst of a mega water crisis. Do we have a serious drought? You bet. Yes, we do. We do. But place it in a context. Why are people so much more vulnerable and susceptible to it today than they were 2 decades ago?
Welcome to the paradoxical state of Maharashtra, at once prosperous and yet impoverished, infamous for the highest rate of farmer suicides in India. Though the rural landscape has faced over a decade of harsh drought, it is also the second largest producer of sugar in India. This research uses data obtained through remote sensing to analyze patterns of water distribution in the state and attempts to unravel the inequities hidden behind poor policy implementation that are fast translating into water conflicts between upstream and downstream actors, as well as different water uses and users. We use a lens of political ecology to understand the power structures dictating water allocation regimes in the state, with a focus on unequal distribution of benefits and burdens. We begin with exploring the factors affecting equity in water distribution.
Water rights are related to land rights. So those who have got lands, they have got the water rights. How that inequality comes into picture? Appropriation of water. The one who has started using water, he becomes the senior appropriator. Those areas of Maharashtra which are already well developed, if they have got very good urbanization, if they have got very good industrialization, they have got sugarcane factories, naturally they get more water, or they see that they get more water through their political powers. Unofficial, undeclared, illegal transfer of water from irrigation to non-irrigation.
In 2003, Maharashtra formed its state water policy and awarded a higher priority to industry and power generation over irrigation and afforestation. Amid intense protest from farmers and water rights groups, irrigation was once again given a higher priority in 2011. The state water policy emphasizes the values of integrated water resources management and advocates for drought mitigation. In this spirit, Maharashtra became the first Indian state to form a water regulatory authority responsible for allocating water from dams, and water user associations to facilitate inclusion of farmers in the management of irrigation systems. However, these policies have failed to achieve their objectives.
MWRRA, those are the members or the chairman of that MWRRA, they are appointed by Water Resources Department. So if my posting is in their hands, I can't regulate them, they regulate me.
We collected a data of around 40 dams all across Maharashtra, and we realized that the government has no system at all of how it is going to cater to increasing demand of water. Can we take this data to the regulator and say that now you are the actual regulator, should be looking at water allocation, entitlements and all that? But we realized that the regulator was not at all ready to take up that leap. But when people from Jayakwadi went to High Court, gradually I realized that what it created was a lot of animosity between the downstream and upstream. It is an adversarial system. It is one lawyer against the another. And then you have to fight. So there's no reconciliation kind of process that happens.
These institutions are crafted in what I call co-management institutional architecture. That is, on one hand, there is the primary water users or the farmers, and then there is the irrigation department official. There is an agreement between the two. And this relationship has been very unequal. So we have not been able to actually move to a democratization of these institutions at a very primary level.
Calling to repoliticize water governance, Joy et al. Describe water reallocations in Maharashtra as processes of accumulation by dispossession. However, changing rainfall patterns, drought, and desertification may threaten regimes of accumulation itself. What is the future of Maharashtra's drought?
Maharashtra is facing the trait of desertification and land degradation.
To analyze patterns of land degradation from 2011 to 2020, we used NDVI and compared it to the results of a drought index. We noted that Marathwada and Amravati divisions to the center and southeast of the state have been facing prolonged drought conditions and poor vegetation health as compared to western Maharashtra. In 2016, Pune division to the east of the Western Ghats shows a moderate to good vegetation health index despite high probability of drought. This indicates water availability for irrigation in Pune division, known for sugar production, even in years of failing monsoons. Further, on zooming in to the command areas of the Jayakwadi Dam, we identified regions of high vegetation health in the driest months of the driest years when the dam storage had been reported as low and farmers in Marathwada faced great distress. This could indicate a continuation of unsustainable irrigation practices as well as unequal water distribution. Recognizing the failure of existing policies to achieve equitable and sustainable water management, this research brings forward a methodology that uses satellite imagery to critically analyze patterns of water distribution resulting in land degradation.